Wait, my connection. I'm trying to reconnect. I don't know what that was all about, but welcome to Mondays with Meagan live. Today we are going to talk about gut, mood, and hormones, and what every tired, bloated, and moody mom needs to know. So let me invite Meagan on here. Bring them on. Loading. It's gonna be slow. Hi, we did it again. Success.
Hello, we made it.
Welcome, Miss Meagan. I'm so excited to have you here. So we're gonna start out by introducing ourselves because we know that there's people on her page that may not know me, people on my page that may not know her. So I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to Meagan and let you tell a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Well, my name is Meagan, like Brenda said. I am a 47-year-old wife and mother, really living my dream right now. So I have two boys. I'm a mom of boys. So I have a 27-year-old who's serving in the Navy. We are so proud of him. And then I have a 17-year-old that we adopted out of foster care who is special needs and keeps our life very interesting. Um, and I'm a retired paramedic, and then I went the admin side of life because my husband and I both worked on the ambulance and we never saw each other. So I went back to school and went the admin route and worked in corporate healthcare for a really long time. And I was really, really good at a lot of things, but compartmentalizing them was one of the things I was best at, which meant that you had work me and you had home me. And work me was sucking the life out of me. And so I had heard for so long about find a passion, turn it into your job, and you won't have to work another day in your life. Now, I wouldn't say that's entirely true, but I did find a passion. I am turning it into my job, and I'm loving it. I still have to work my butt off, but it's very different. It's much more motivating. Health, fitness, supplements. I've always been a fan, and I've always been into them, and I've researched them, and now I just get to really focus on it and watch as my friends and my family and even strangers get their lives revolutionized by understanding what's going on in their bodies and how they can support them. And I could not be happier to be able to focus on this.
Yeah. I'm so blessed by the grace of God. I got this girl on my team. I didn't even know who she was. We connected right before our convention. And I was like, oh my God, I've got this extra room. She's got a room next to us. So we got to spend some time together and I just absolutely fell in love with her. So she can never get rid of me now.
Nor would I want to.
So my name is Brenda Norberg. I live in Northern California and I am not nearly as educated as Miss Meagan. So I'm just like, just sucking everything out of her because she just has all of that knowledge that, gosh, I wish I had the one for it. When I was younger, instead of going to school, I found out I could make money. So, I was working 2 40-hour-a-week jobs. Like, okay, I got my own car. Like, that's money motivated me. Learning did not. And I didn't come from a family where we had the money to go to school. So that was never even an option for me. So thank God the tables have turned and my kids do plan on going to school and they love their education and they're so smart. They can literally do their schoolwork with headphones on listening to music. And I'd be like, not my jam. But so I had been in the direct sales industry space for, God, since I was 18 years old. How old am I? I'm 51. Very long time. And it's been one of those things. The thing that I love most about it is the relationships that it brings into your life that you never even knew that you needed.
Yes.
And so that was one thing. My very first company that I was actually successful at, my first company I wasn't successful, but my first company I was successful in, we built relationships. And to this day, 20 something years later, all of these women are still my best friends. And that's one thing that you just don't get. Sometimes you might get it in a daily job, but not a lot of people are sticking around in their regular jobs for 25 years anymore.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that, right? I mean, you get paid more if you job hop. It's a reality.
Yeah. So anyways, we're going to talk today about gut, mood, and hormones and what every tired, bloated, and moody mom needs to know. So I'm going to go ahead and let Meagan kick it off. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so I'll try to keep it so that I'm not like nerd speak too much. But I'll still throw some in so in case people care and want to know or know what I'm talking about, they're not bored out of their minds, right? So let's start at the basics. Your gut is your second brain. So 90% of your serotonin is made from your gut, which is mood, sleep, motivation, all the things that get us up, get us doing something, make us want to do things. That's all from your gut. So if your gut health is off, then your hormones can get completely out of balance too. So serotonin is a hormone. It's our feel-good hormone. Dopamine is a hormone. Cortisol is a hormone. We hear about that all the time. And cortisol spikes. Your cortisol is supposed to spike. It's a stress hormone. You want it to come up, but you want it to come back down. That's the difference. We talk all the time about high cortisol. It's supposed to go up. That's your fight or flight. That's going to help with responding to things, helping your feelings, having intensity of feelings, some of those things. But you want your hormones to then come back down, and you have to metabolize them out of your body, and you have to have the right support in order to do that. So if you don't, that's where you end up with cortisol spikes, progesterone dropping, estrogen fluctuating. Then you're an anxious, exhausted mess, craving sugar, looking for all the things, the comfort foods. Did you know, and I just heard this study the other day, only 20% of our eating in America is because of hunger? 20%. Only 20% is actually because of actual hunger. The rest are cues coming from emotions, feelings, things like that. That just blows my mind, but it also explains why our society looks and feels the way we do, because we eat for a lot of other reasons that are generally out of whack hormones. So we have all these hormones going all over the place. So if you are someone who is experiencing bloating and gassiness when you eat, especially if you eat cooked foods, mood swings, PMS, that wicked week, right, where you become the wicked witch of the West and everybody says, oh gosh, look out. And for so long we blame it on, oh, I'm PMSing, right? Because it's become a norm that we just are like, yeah, it's just the way I am. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. If you're fatigued even after sleep, or if you are someone who says, oh, I must have slept too much, that shouldn't be a thing. I hear that all the time, and I'm like, huh? Brain fog, forgetfulness, sugar cravings that you just can't shake, or where it's like, I'm not going to move past this until I just finally eat whatever it is I'm wanting to eat. Anxiety, irritability, sadness, crying for Hallmark commercials, um, weight gain, especially in your belly and your hips, right? These are all normal, what we consider normal in our society, but actually it's just your gut saying, help me, help me, help me. I'm waving the flag. We can't do this anymore. Our hormones are so out of whack.
Totally. So I had a question for you, and this is a little bit off.
Yep.
Can you overload on protein?
Can you overload?
Can you?
So there's science right now that's being looked at on whether or not and how much protein you can actually break down in a sitting, so in one meal. So generally it's recommended 30 to 40 grams of protein each time you sit down and eat. So the challenge is that anytime you have extra in your body excretes it or stores it, right? So protein doesn't always get stored as protein in our body. We don't actually like store protein, if you will. So if you're overloading on protein in one sitting and not moving it throughout your day more reasonably, then you can pack it on as pounds.
Okay, so this is the thing. This was a real thing that happened today, and I don't want to go too long into this, but I was so proud of myself because I got 60 grams of protein. and I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. Like, I feel so full, and I had nuts in there, and so I'm just like, and then I got I have a little bit of a headache, and I'm like, I've never had that much protein in one setting before, so I'm like, maybe that's not a good thing. So I did go take my enriched digestive enzymes because I'm like, okay, Brenda, maybe that wasn't quite so smart. Maybe this is something I need to ask Meagan about because she knows about these.
So you did say something good though. You had some nuts with it. So one of the things we talk about protein all the time, right? We need more protein, get more protein in our diet, but it's not just protein. If you just eat protein, you are going to poop a brick house. Like Don't spit your drink out. It's just reality. You have to have fiber, which is why it's all the things that go with protein. So I think sometimes we get so focused on protein, protein, protein. And I'm all for protein because as a general rule, people are not getting enough protein.
Right.
But if you don't eat leafy greens, if you don't eat fiber with your protein, you are going to feel horrible because it's just going to sit in your gut. And some people actually are predisposed to then having it rot. And so if you just keep burping it up, and then it's not moving. And so we say you have to drink a lot of water if you eat a lot of protein, but you also need fiber to move that along, that roughage that's going to help keep things smooth and moving. So it's the things that go with protein as well.
So I did take 2 Enrich, and I was thinking maybe I should take some more because it's really just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I won't do that again. But I did our Nourish shake.
Mhm.
And I actually did one of those 30-gram little protein drinks.
Yep.
And I did a 1/4 cup of seeds of each two seeds. So it was so packed, and I'm like, okay, I feel so full. This is not normal. So that's a good example, I guess, of why we should be using Enrich too, because it's going to help break that down. So continue on.
Yeah. So the other thing is that with eating a lot of protein is you want to make sure you're moving as well, because you need the muscles, especially around your abdomen, to help, because peristalsis, which is the movement through the intestines, you need your skeletal muscles to help push that through also. So getting up walking is going to help a lot with that too, because that's going to be really important to keep things moving, for sure. But yeah, I love the focus on protein, but there's other factors as well. It's not just protein that's going to keep you upright, keep you moving, and keep you healthy, for sure.
Just go drinking all your protein.
No, drinking protein, actually, your body doesn't always recognize it as the same amount of protein, and you won't feel as full, because it's just protein at that point. The other thing that I think we sometimes forget to talk about is you have a protein goal, but you still need to listen to your body cues. So like I said, only 20% of Americans eat because they're physically hungry, like their stomach and their digestion is hungry. So I think we get focused on a goal and then we end up overeating, right? So when you're satisfied, stop. You can come back to it, eat more of it later. But as long as you just keep, well, I have to finish everything that's on my plate, which was a mindset for a long time. And no, don't. Then you're eating calories that you probably don't even need, or protein at that point you don't need, because protein is going to make you feel fuller. That's what it does.
So
which
incremental
is great,
protein throughout the day is going to be key.
And ideally, 3 to 4 meals that are high in protein will help you reduce the snacking, because snacking is when we start getting ourselves into trouble, right? That's when it's easy to grab for prepared things that are simple, easy, and opening a package. Shouldn't be opening a package for snacks.
So we do have a couple questions in the comments. Should we go ahead and then finish and then come back to questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so do we want to touch on what I think we should use to help with all of our gut hormones and our gut health?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1, always and forever, will be Enrich. Enrich is your prebiotic, probiotic, digestive enzymes. So enzymes that are made from your pancreas, amylase, protease, things like this that normally and naturally in your body break down fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. We are now enhancing those. Part of the reason is that our gut, for lack of a better description, we have shredded our gut lining with the pesticides that are in our food, with the high sugar diet, with a lot of these things that just haven't created a smooth microbiome within your body so that you're naturally able to metabolize a lot of this effectively. We also use a fair amount of synthetics, which then our body kind of goes, I don't know what to do with this. So we more or less have a shredded gut lining. So you bring these digestive enzymes in. We say eat them 10 to 15 to 30 minutes before you're going to eat. Why do we care about that? We want you to take them with 8 to 10 minimum ounces of water, because we don't want them destroyed in the stomach. Right? Stomach is high acid. We want you to drink them, push them through the stomach into the small intestine to help prepare and smooth and soothe the large and small intestines so that they're ready for that food. So then when the food comes in, the enzymes are already activated and ready to break that down and pull those nutrients out of your intestines into the body and all over, and actually use the nutrients from the food that you're eating and that you're drinking. really important. At that point, then you also now have a soothed lining of your gut, and hormones are going to metabolize better because they're going to be recognized, pulled out, metabolized, and moved through your system and body, which now they're not free floating, they're not all over the place, they're not really high or really low. And that is going to then help with your brain go, oh, we know what's going on. Oh, body, we know what's going on. We know how to use these to support. So really, really important. I can go way deeper into digestive and enrich, but that's really the highlight of why is it so important and why do we need to be using them. There are many, many stories of people who have had a lot of digestive and health issues that soothing the internal and recreating the healthy microbiome in your gut will begin to help stabilize. Now, these are not medications. They're not a turn the switch on, turn the switch off situation. These are a support your body to repair and relax and come into a state of homeostasis, which takes time because even in an unhealthy state, our body's goal is to maintain homeostasis. We don't allow for high and low changes and dramatic swings. So that's part of the reason we say at least 90 days that you are taking them consistently to really allow your body to begin to correct itself and to repair. I tell people with fitness, the 4 to 6 week mark is when your body starts to rebel and you feel miserable, you're drained, your mind is tired of the grind, and you got to push past that because then all of a sudden your body goes, oh, we're really in this for the long haul. Okay, fine. We'll start working now. We'll start dropping weight. We'll start doing the things that you're requiring of us. But it's not uncommon to have this 2 to 3 week where you're like, I don't think this is working at all and I'm just tired of it. And then all of a sudden we have this jump start where your body's like, oh, you're not going to let me off the hook. I actually have to get better. Okay, fine. So
Yeah,
yeah.
consistency. I mean, I heard you say consistency in there, but consistency is such key because I'll have people that get in and they'll start a couple of things and they go for like a week and like, I'm not seeing anything. And it's like, oh, you got to be consistent. And are you doing it every day? And are you being consistent? Like,
Right.
you know, what I did when I first started, and go ahead. I'll talk about transform when we get there. You go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'm going to touch on for her
Okay.
then, which is 3 herbs that for the estrogen 100. So the thing about this is it's new, but it's not new. Like Ecclesiastes says nothing is new under the sun, right? God created all of these herbs and these plants and things. So these have actually been studied in other countries, Asian countries and things that have been used for generations. We're just now bringing them into America, and we have the privilege of watching them come together in this for her, which is really hormone stabilization. So balancing hormones, PMS relief, emotional stability through this triple force combination that are synergistic with each other. And so they then help support each other and give us this balance where it more or less is helping to grab onto these hormones and help our bodies know what to do with them better. So phenomenal, just seeing phenomenal results, even in a short window of time, which is pretty awesome because they haven't been out that long. So I'm really excited to see the stories that come out of them as we are using them longer and longer and consistently.
Yeah, I've been
I
watching
did
like,
have somebody.
Sonara and the people who were in the beta test group, and I've been like trying to pay attention to all the things that they're saying because they've had them in their hands a lot longer than we have. What I noticed instantly in the 2 weeks that I've had it is the sleep. I've been able to sleep better at night, not overheating in the middle of the night, kicking covers off and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I have noticed some pretty instant results with it. I'm really waiting to hear back from my mom because I gave her a handful to try, and she has all the symptoms. So I cannot wait to hear how it ends up working for her.
Yeah. I had a question yesterday, I think it was from somebody that said, because I was posting a video saying this is my nighttime routine, and I take my Renew, I take my For Her, I take a Transform, I take my Glow Bovine Collagen at bedtime. Somebody said, why are you taking them at bedtime? And I was like, oh, let me tell you. So we're looking for that parasympathetic response. So a lot of people know that as rest and digest, or breed and feed, but it's that time when your body is really in repair, recovery, and resting. And so having that in your system when you're not trying to digest food, you're not trying to find the energy to get up and do more, you're not really trying to focus your brain, but your body really slows so that you can get this repair and relax. you are now providing those supplements to it to help support that repair and relax time. That's where we're really going to get some of our best results from that.
I love it. Because I saw you saying transform, and I'm like, ooh, I want to know more. I want to know more. Because I was like always like 1 hour before I eat. And then when I first started taking it, I actually would take it. I kept it bedside and I would roll over and I would take it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm talking about transform, I'll go ahead and then we can
Yes.
cut around. So I would roll over and I would take it first thing in the morning. Boom. And I don't know, there was something about it. I felt like it energized me. And I don't know if there's something in there that was doing that because I don't know enough about ingredients and all that stuff. But I did that, and then I would go drink my mojo and continue on with my day. And I like literally, and I know every body is different, so everybody's going to have a different response. But I dropped like 7 pounds my first week, and then it was like 13 pounds like by the second week. It was insanely fast, but also I probably had a lot of crap in my gut. I was drinking Starbucks caramel macchiatos, and I wasn't, I mean, I've always eaten kind of healthy. Like I do care about organic and what I'm putting in, but I mean, I did occasionally have the bag of chips with my deli sandwich or whatever. So it made me less hungry when I did eat. I felt like I just wasn't as hungry, and this was even before Activate. But it was taking care of the stuff in there, because what the Transform does, it takes the sugar in your gut and it transforms it into fiber before it reaches your bloodstream. So therefore it helps level out your peak. Instead of having big peaks and valleys in your blood sugar, you just kind of have rolling hills, which is more like what you want. So I had slapped a glucose monitor on, and just before I even started taking Transform, because I'm like, I just don't believe this is going to work for me. Let's see what happens, because nothing's ever worked. I've done the walking 5 miles a day, the exercise, all the things, and nothing ever worked for me. And so when I started doing this, I'm like, I'm just going live. I'm documenting it. It's going to be real. Like if I gain, great. People are going to see it. And obviously they're not going to want to buy it. If I lose, great. They're going to see it and they're going to say, hey, I want to be a part of this. Right. So
yes.
Put the glucose monitor on, and within the first 2 days, my sugar dipped in the middle of the night and the alarm went off. It had hit 40, which is super low.
Yep.
And I had no idea I had blood sugar issues until I went and bought that monitor to test with this product. So lo and behold, as soon as I started Transform, it went from like I had hit a 200 and dipped at 40. But once I started taking that Transform, it was just steadily like between 90 and 120, like way better range, right? So it's helped me so much. I've lost a total of 50 pounds. I think that 50 pounds, most of it came off within a 6, 7, 8 month period, right in that range. And then our Activate. Do you want me to go into Activate? Do you want to talk about Activate? So our Activate is the GLP one that was launched in March. So Transform came out in October. So by March, I had already lost, I think, 30 or 40 pounds. So they threw in their Activate. So what Activate does, this is what I'm drinking right here. So I drink that in the morning, first thing too. It's just a habit. And I always go, oh my God, do I want to drink my coffee or my Activate first? I just can never decide. So I just take them both, and by the day, it's always a little bit different. But the Activate activates your GLP-1 in your gut, so it helps you feel fuller, faster, and longer. And then it activates your AMPK. And I know we don't want to go too deep into product, but so it helps activate your AMPK, and it sends a signal to your brain telling your body not to store fat, but in fact to burn stored fat. Do you want to touch on that at all? Oh, I can't hear you. I think you're muted. Hold on. I don't know how you got muted. Do you see the microphone button? I can't hear you. Meagan, come back. Maybe flip your camera and flip it back. Maybe it's doing a wonky thing. Okay. I still can't hear you, but it shows your microphone with a slash through it. Do you want to try to leave and try to come back? I don't know. I can't hear you. So Meagan has left the building momentarily, and y'all don't want to miss what she has to say because she's got all the smarts behind this stuff. I'm just like, I take it, I try it, and I share. So I don't know what happened, how she got muted. Facebook does funny things every now and then. So I did touch the screen for her. It did not unmute her. I take it you've had some of these problems, huh, Lori? So stay tuned. She'll be right back. I'm sure of it. Let's try again. Here she is. Okay, ask to join again, Megan, and then I will bring you in. Because if I send you the invite and you ask it, sometimes it just clashes in the middle. Oh, thank you, Jen. Oh, there we go. Megan wants to join you. And Megan, we may have to. Don't leave, because you guys, we aren't done yet. Invite. It's not. I don't know if my internet is being crazy too. MEAG. Daisy. Invite. Okay. So where it told me to let you in and invite you was on the finish button. So if I'd hit finish, we'd have been done. I don't know what's happening. We are not going to finish. We are not done. Stay tuned. Be patient. Megan. It says I sent the invite. Well, Facebook, we love you. I tried to invite you back in, but it's not doing anything. It showed. Oh, here we go. Hold on. I think I found one. Approve. Send invite. Yes. Bringing her back. We did it. Yes. Okay. Continue on.
Okay, so let's see, AMP or activate, right? Okay, so activate, what we're looking for is it helps you feel fuller faster. So if you really wanted to you could go into the ghrelin and the leptin, which are the hormones in your stomach that make you feel hungry and soothe down. So they can be both physically hungry reactors, as well as they can be emotional or feeling reactors. You can actually trick your body into releasing them and going, oh, I'm hungry, which is where after you eat dinner, you eat a big dinner, you think you're full, and then suddenly you're hungry for dessert again, right? Or you have room for dessert because you've convinced your body, oh, yes, I can eat some more. So Activate is going to help with that, right? It's going to help you feel fuller faster. It's going to quiet that food noise because it's going to help balance those hormones in your gut, because it also helps with your gut health, helps soothing and smoothing the lining of your gut to use your hormones more effectively, which then is going to help with your feelings as well. So you're not spurting those hormones into your body going, feed me, feed me, feed me. So help you feel, and then it's metabolism, right? So your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your metabolic health as a whole is going to help you not put and store fat onto your body, which is why we use Transform as well. Transform is going to use that blood sugar to convert to fiber, so we're not creating that into stored fat. And then the AMPK in activating AMPK with the activate, that's a mouthful, is going to help you burn body fat you already have if you have excess. Otherwise, what you're going to do if you don't have excess, because it's an adaptogenic, so it's going to do what your body needs, it's going to help you more effectively burn the foods that you're feeding your body. So it's like a all the way around approach to helping with this. You use the Transform to help those sugars, highs or lows, balance that out, which then helps your hormones as well being more stable, because now your body is focused on pulling nutrients out of your gut, using those nutrients appropriately, and not just trying to keep your body alive through this rock and roll crazy waves that you're having from the food you're eating and the lifestyle that you're leading.
Yes. I love
right?
it. So now we covered pretty much the products that we were going to talk about, right? Was there anything else that we wanted to touch on?
Those are the big ones. I mean,
Okay.
if you are a fan of Mojo, keep doing it. It also will help with some of that hunger control. It also helps with that serotonin boost. So we talked about serotonin to help with those mood stabilization. So boosting your serotonin is going to keep you out of that highs and lows as well. So it's phenomenal for helping with that.
Okay, so let's go back to the questions, and I'll have them here because you got out. So Sharon says, I have issues, I think, due to gastric bypass 10 years
Yes.
ago and not eating right. Do you have any suggestions for
Yes.
Sharon?
So I love talking to the folks who have done gastric bypass because we have some great success with them. So you desperately need Enrich, Sharon. You need a way to metabolize that because you don't have the same chemicals and the same functioning of your body because of the gastric bypass. Same with the sleeve. So you've now disrupted the chemical process as well as the mechanical process of the way that food goes through your body. So you desperately need Enrich. That being said, you also are going to have to work really hard at your really small meals because you need to be having much smaller because you have smaller area in your stomach or lack of stomach, however you want to call it, to actually put food into that pouch. So you're much more limited, but you've got to get those digestive enzymes in first to help break down that food so that it's moving through your system and you are pulling those nutrients out of that food. It's also really, really important you avoid anything carbonated because that's going to swell and make you feel fuller. It's also going to do damage because you don't have the same physical capacity. But you also really need to focus on what nutrients you're putting into your body because you are going to be so limited on breaking those down in the space that you have for them.
So I hope that helps you, Sharon. Sharon is a brand new team member. I'm so excited. We're getting ready to do her launch call.
Yay! I
Um,
love that.
so also Jennifer says, Meagan, did you see any changes in your body in your 40s and how did you navigate that supplement wise and nutrition and fitness?
Yes, I've seen changes in my body. So I really started seeing changes actually much earlier, and part of that was I had a pregnancy that ended up with our daughter passing away, but she had birth defects from the womb, and so my hormones wouldn't support her hormones. She couldn't metabolize her own hormones, and I was left with this huge rage of hormones metabolizing hers and mine because of the defects. Um, and so my body from pregnancy on pretty much was trashed. Um, and could not, I just never went back to normal or recovered. And then you throw in the aging process, and it just seemed to be getting worse and worse and worse. And my doctor just kept saying, we just need to remove your organs. It's really where we're at. Like you can stay on birth control forever. You can, take the organs out. We can put you into, surgical induced menopause. And I'm like, none of these, like, no, I want to be natural. I want to be healthy. There's a reason your organs are in your body. If I can avoid having them taken out, I want to. And so for me, that just didn't seem like a great option, but I was considering it because my periods were so horrible and they just seemed to be getting worse. And then hit my 40s and moving through my 40s, and they became more irregular. And I had always had very regular periods, even as horrible as they were, they'd been regular. Well, now they're becoming irregular and they're getting worse. So then I started down the diet and nutrition level. I was using a variety of different supplements, buying from like 6 and 7 different companies, like trying to figure out something to keep me from having to go under the knife. And then uh, none of it really was working. I mean, I had no problem losing the weight because I was busting my butt, spending hours at the gym, very calorie controlled, went into bodybuilding, which I loved because I had a lot of control over it. But then partway through, I'd messed my hormones up enough through restriction that then my body wouldn't even let me lose weight. And so I was like, oh, this can't be happening, right? I know all the right things to do. I know it should be happening. So then enter the Trinont supplements, soothe my health, soothe my gut health again, help support the hormones. And now we're back on track to where we can say menopause is mandatory, symptoms or not, because now I'm getting rid of all of those symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my fitness is back on journey and on track. I was able to find kind of where my maintenance calories are, where I'm not losing and I'm not gaining weight, which then will help me when I do want to lose some more weight.
Yes. Does anyone else have any other questions for Meagan today? I don't know what we're at for time. Do you
We're
know how far we are on?
3:04.
Ooh, we're doing okay.
Yeah.
That's not horrible.
No. I feel like I've talked really, really fast, so which is normal for me. So
But
people
there was a
probably
lot
have
to
to like
cover.
you can slow me down on the recording, right? You re-listen to it, put me at half.
Right. No, I think it was great. I followed you the whole time. I followed you the whole way through. It was awesome.
Okay.
So thank you so much for coming on. If nobody has any other questions, we will go ahead and I guess we'll bring this to a close. And then do you have anything else that you want to add in there, Meagan?
I don't think so. I mean, the big thing is reach out if you don't know what to take or when to take them, right? Because I think for a lot of people that gets really confusing. I can talk about all of our supplements kind of ad nauseum, right? And I can tell you all the reasons to take every one of them, but it can be hugely overwhelming. So I think a lot of times it starts somewhere, figure out what is the underlying, what do you most want to fix or where do you want to start? And for most people, whether they realize it or not, they need to start with gut health. So that's where I love the daily health system, which is the transform, the activate, and the enrich. Those three, in my opinion, should always go together. They work so well at helping stabilize our gut health. But if you're confused on when to take them, what to take, how to add them all together, reach out. Reach out to somebody. We'll help you walk through them because I do think for different people, taking them at different times is important. And the way that I take them changes over time. I was taking my Activate first thing in the morning, and then I actually was struggling with afternoon cravings. So I moved it to afternoon and have been much more successful with that. So I play around with things all the time. I watch as other people, try things and say, I'm doing it this way. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to try that and see. And sometimes it works really well for me. Sometimes it doesn't. But we all have busy lives. We have things going on. And so we've got to make it work for when it works for us and adapt it as needed, both for our bodies and the way our microbiome is, as well as what our schedules look like. So give yourself grace, get the supplements
I'm
in
guilty because
first.
I love the flavor of it. Like I could drink this stuff all day long. So I have this one and I put my Glow M in there and I put
Mm-hmm.
my Quench in there. And sometimes I'll put a Fortify in there because it's like an emergency or something, right? And so I'll
Yes.
drink two of these, right? Like I'll drink it halfway down because it's strong. So I'll refill it with water and then drink it down and refill it with water. So literally all those, I'll have two of these. And these, I think this is a 40 ouncer. It's a big one. I can tell you, I've never been going to the bathroom so much. I actually had to work doing mail Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And normally I would go to the bathroom before I left the post office and I could stop at my halfway point and go again. But like I have like three parts of my mail route. So I went before I left the post office. I went on the first part of the route. I went on the second part of the route. So I had to like pull over and find a suitable place because there's no bathrooms. It's in the country. And then
Right.
I went again I stopped at the post office and went third part of the route and then back. And I'm like, I don't know that I've ever went to the bathroom so much in my life, but it's a good thing, right?
Yes.
It's a
So
good thing.
that's something to be aware of too with the Activate. If you have inflammation in your body, Activate's going to help with that. So that's one thing that my husband was saying, because I was like, okay, you're going to start taking this every day. And he's like, oh my gosh, I have to pee so much after I drink my Activate. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of the point. Let's flush stuff out of your system and out of your body.
Yeah.
That's what we want, right? We want the stuff moving along. We want to be pooping more. We want to be peeing a lot, especially after you drink the Activate. So, you're drinking more water and you're throwing in that's getting rid of that inflammation and pushing it out of your body.
Yes. Oh my God, you're just amazing. I love it. I love her brain. Mine.
I'm glad you do, because not everybody appreciates the
Oh,
spasticity and craziness that is my brain.
I do. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I cannot wait for next Monday. I'm so
Awesome.
excited. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this amazing information. I will be I'm gonna try to download this and get it on the YouTube so that way we can share it and
Yes.
have it forever because like this is valuable information. I don't want people to hear it one time. I want them to be able to go back and hear it over and over and however many times it takes. So thank you again so much for coming on here. I am so grateful for you and I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you so much.
Oh, wait. One more question. When we start these products, what do I do with all my vitamins?
With the old vitamins you didn't have, or that you had and you're not going to use anymore, or with, I mean, I'm guessing that's what they're
Throw some
asking.
stuff in the comments. What kind of vitamins? What are you talking about? Because we can tell you, maybe Megan can tell you what some of this will replace, right?
Yes. Yeah. because if it's just what do I do with my old vitamins, that's different. Like, how do I dispose of them or how do I use them? Or is it
Yeah.
more how do I take what I've
But
got?
literally before I started doing this, I was taking those vitamin C gummies from Costco. Loaded with sugar, right?
Yes. Sugars and dyes, and not in a soluble form of vitamin C. So your body, you were just pooping them out. Your
Yeah.
body was trying, it was trying hard to absorb what it could, but getting very little absorption.
Yeah. So old vitamins. So what do you mean multi is okay. So what do you think about multivitamins? Just a general multivitamin.
So one of the things that I often challenge people to do is put your multivitamin into a glass of water and see how many days it takes to dissolve. Because if it's taking very long to dissolve,
With the
now
capsule
granted,
and everything,
mm-hmm,
it's encapsulated, right?
yep,
Okay.
yeah, it should dissolve pretty quickly. Water soluble. Now, you have water soluble and fat soluble vitamins, right? So some vitamins bind with fat, and that's how they get absorbed into your bloodstream. And some vitamins are absorbed with water, and that's how they follow water, and that's how they get into your bloodstream. So your water soluble vitamins should dissolve pretty quickly and leach into the water, and your fat soluble won't necessarily. They'll kind of sit there, and won't be absorbed quite the same. So, I mean, if you're asking me, I'm like, take Trinon's Balance. That is your
Right.
best
I
option for
replaced all that
vitamins.
stuff with balance.
Yeah, but if you have other vitamins that you want to use up because you want to use them because you spent money on them, you can still use them. Just understand you may not be getting the best absorption from them, depending on what all's in them, how your body's reacting to them. A lot of people, when they take like a commercialized vitamin, they get a stomach ache, they'll feel bloated because they're not food based, right? They're synthetic, or they're a metal based, and depending on the vitamin you're looking at. And so then your body is like, oh, what are you putting? As opposed to Trinons are food based vitamins. We're using food sources to bring those vitamins into the body.
Right. So she was saying B6, B12, C, and D3. So does balance cover all of that or support one of those two?
Focus.
Focus. Okay.
Yep.
And I take multiple focus a day. I'm guilty. I have it in my little supplement container. Where's my supplement container? It's never far from me.
Yep.
If I start getting squirrely, I'll pop another focus. But
yeah, at that point, if you're taking all of those individually, I would look at our core four, right? So what is that? The balance, the support, the focus. I'm missing one.
balance, support, focus, not boost, right?
Optimize.
Optimize.
Optimize. Yes. So those core four are going to cover what you probably are taking 12 bottles of on your counter. If you were like, hey, I should probably take all these things because I've heard they do all these things. Those core four are going to cover those for sure.
They're all whole food, plant-based, and that's what your body thrives with.
Yes. So then, yeah, you're taking them. So part of the reason that some of the vitamins they take with food is because they're fat soluble. So they need food, they need the fats in the foods to bind to be able to metabolize best. When we say can take on an empty stomach, or take before food, things like that, those are more water soluble. So those you take with a big glass of water and get into your body.
Makes sense. See, now my brain not being, I would think just naturally that they wanted you to take it with food because maybe it's going to upset your tummy.
So it can, for sure. So for some people, the optimize, they say take it on an empty stomach. I've got about a 30-minute window before that turmeric and I are disagreeing.
Yeah.
And so I will take that first thing and do fasting cardio and then take a protein shake or something, because otherwise I'll start to feel it.
Gotcha.
But if I take it at bedtime, where it's still probably hour, 2 hours since I've eaten, so it's not the food has moved along, it doesn't cause me the same nausea. But first thing in the morning on a purely empty stomach, I got a 30-minute window. Which isn't unusual with turmeric on an empty stomach. And our Optimize does have turmeric in it.
Yes, I love Optimize. In fact, I just took 2 because I had a little bit of a headache. It's starting to feel a little bit better. It's gotten much better actually since I've been on the call, which I was like, oh God, is it going to get better or worse?
Right?
Yes. But okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm hoping Facebook will let me download this so we can get it uploaded.
Yes, I love it.
And I am so looking forward to next Monday. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and see you next Monday.
See you next
Bye.
Monday.